Hello everybody, I'm Tom Vasel and welcome to the Dice Tower. Today we're taking a look in this Winter Spectacular at the best of 2020 and I want to talk about kids games. I have many kids, I get to play a lot of kids games, and so I want to point out 10 great kids games that you should be checking out. So here we go. Number 10 is the Pop-Tarts game. Kids love Pop-Tarts, so do adults. But hey, this is a game that's based on an IP. Based on a food product IP does not make a game great. See my Kraft mac and cheese review for the very opposite effect. But this is simply a game in which you're trying to maneuver Pop-Tarts to one end of the line and then collecting those, getting different Pop-Tarts to collect sets. It's a very simple game, but it works really well with kids. Kids are moving and trying to get the Pop-Tarts in the right position to collect them and get a set, and I thought it does a really good job, and the box looks like a box of Pop-Tarts, which does not hurt. Number 9 is Dragomino. Dragomino is the kids' version of King Domino. King Domino was already a pretty simple game where you're building a little kingdom in front of you with these double-sided dominoes of different terrain types. Dragomino is very similar, but you're putting different dragons next to each other. There's a little bit of luck in it, but it's a simple game that my 6-year-old was able to understand, and my older kids also thought there was some interesting strategy along with it. A really pretty game, one I recommend, Dragomino. Number 8 is a cooperative game, Last Defense. What do you do if a giant monster attacks a city? You go out and stop them. That's what this is. A giant blob, a giant alien, a robot. You need to stop these creatures. And so you're rolling dice as fast as you can, moving around, and apps letting you know there's not much time left and you have to do things. It's not a very difficult game, but it's silly, it's fun, and it will work well for kids because it gives you that, evokes that kind of Martian cartoony type thing. Oh, we must save the city. And it's a lot of fun, especially I think cooperative games are good for families because you can work together with your kids to play them. Number 7 is Betrayal at Mystery Mansion. This is a Scooby-Doo style game. It's based on a bigger game, Betrayal at the House on the Hill. That's a game for adults, really. I mean, you can play with kids, I guess, but it's a horror-themed game. This is Scooby-Doo. But what's great about this game is you're playing through the game, exploring a mansion, and at some point, someone has to be the bad guy. It could be a parent. So then you play the bad guy, everyone else plays to stop you. And there is multiple different bad guys and multiple different ways to stop them. And it does so in a great way, using a great theme that adults and kids can both love, which of course is Scooby-Doo. Speaking of themes people like, my number 6 is SpongeBob SquarePants Plankton Rising. This is another game that's based on, there's Thanos Rising, and there was a Star Wars Rising, and a Death Eaters Rising. This one's geared towards kids, using the very popular SpongeBob SquarePants franchise, where you're rolling dice and using those dice to claim friends and fight some bad guys and stop Plankton from stealing the formula for the Krabby Patty. Well, that's a theme a lot of kids will like. A lot of kids like SpongeBob, and it has great components. It's a lot of fun rolling the dice. And again, it's a cooperative game, so you're working together to stop Plankton. Number 5, another cooperative game. There's a lot of those on this list. This one is Kung Fu Panda, the board game. I just was watching Kung Fu Panda the other day, and I thought, wow, this movie has aged well. What a good cartoon. I still love the idea of the fat panda becoming a Kung Fu master. And in this game, you are controlling the panda and his friends as they go through and fight minions together. It almost has the feeling of a dungeon crawl, but you're taking the different characters and going through and rolling dice and making combos of punches and kicks and things to take out the thugs and accomplish missions. It's a lot of fun. Kids will like it. Kung Fu Panda, the board game. Number 4 is 5-Minute Mystery. 5-Minute Mystery, which is based on a very popular 5-Minute Dungeon or 5-Minute Marvel. In this game, you are flipping 2 cards and looking for things that are looking for symbols on those cards, cracking the correct symbol on a die, and then using that to eliminate some suspects. And as you eliminate these suspects, you eventually get down to 1 suspect and win the game. Now, the game actually has different modes. You can actually play an 8-minute version of it. Ooh, 3 more minutes. But the game mixes sharp eye looking for stuff, which kids like. Oh, we need a blue circle or whatever. And then using simple elimination style deduction. It's a good combo, and I really enjoy it. That's 5-Minute Mystery. That was number 4. It would have made sense to make 5-minute mystery. Moving on. Number 3, Piece of Pie. I like piece of pie. And piece of pie, you are collecting pieces of a pie. You take a piece out, put in front of you, you're building your own little pie. You have a secret ingredient that you will get more points for, but different cards will come out that show you other ways to get points. You want one of every fruit. You want to have two of the same fruit next to each other, whatever it might be. These are simple rules that kids can understand, and it's about pie, which I believe all of us think is great. But I really like the quality of this game, the entertainingness of it, as kids are sitting there deciding which piece to take, because that might open up another piece for the other player. Offers some simple tactical maneuvering in it, but I found it to be a lot of fun for kids and adults too. Number 2. I can't believe I'm putting 2 of the same intellectual property, but it is that good, and that's Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion. Scooby-Doo Escape from the Haunted Mansion is an escape room style game where everyone together is playing the roles of the gang as they get stuck in a mansion and have to figure their way out of it. And you're moving the gang around and finding different things and maybe saying, okay, I'm going to have Daphne do this, I'm going to have Scooby do this. And you use each of the members to their best way that you can do them in ways that the cartoon makes sense, but then it also offers little puzzles and you all stop and try to figure out a puzzle together. It was a lot of fun. Another great cooperative puzzle game that I think works especially well with kids. And then number 1 for kids games is Cupcake Academy. Now, what I like about Cupcake Academy is it is another cooperative style game. You can sense a trend on this list. But in Cupcake Academy, there's a lot of games where you have to move things back and forth. If you've ever been to Cracker Barrel, you have those move all the rings from one thing to the next post, and you can only put a smaller one on top of a larger one. That's what this game's like. You put larger cupcakes on top of smaller cupcakes, and you're moving around. But you're also moving them to the middle and taking them from other people, and you're all working together, and you can only work on your section, and you're shouting, I need this, I need that, and moving them around. It is a lot of fun, and I was really enamored with just how well it worked with kids by themselves and with kids and parents involved. So these are, in my opinion, the top 10 kids games of 2020. Later this week, my 2 middle daughters, Holly and Ruby and Violet, are going to be coming and giving their best 10 games of the year. So we'll see if they cross this. They don't know about this list, and when I built this list, I don't know anything about theirs, so we'll see what happens. But anyway, this is what I think. These are great games to play with your kids. I played these with many of my own kids in different situations. I like them a lot. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching the Winter Spectacular Top 10 Lists on the Dice Tower.